He'll watch a movie, then he'll tell you all about it. It's the Armstrong Entertainment Show.
Hello everyone and welcome to Armstrong Entertainment. I saw the movie The Amazing Spider-Man. It stars Andrew Garfield, Emma Stone, Sally Field, Martin Sheen, Rhys Ifans, and Dennis Leary. And this movie, obviously everybody knows about it now. It's making a ton of money, and pretty much everybody knows it. It is a reboot or a remake of the 2002 trilogy. The very first time I ever heard that this movie was being done, I literally thought it was an SNL spoof. I thought it was a joke. I was like, there's no way they're redoing a franchise that did so well. What is the point? I mean, it was so good, why even bother messing with it? But they did. Let me just start off by saying I am a pretty big Spider-Man fan. He's definitely my favorite superhero. I wouldn't say I'm an uber fan like some people I know. I've read some of the comic books. I used to collect the stupid comic book cards, so I know enough about him. I know pretty much all the characters, and I'm definitely a fan. So it's going to be super duper hard not to compare the two. I know this is supposed to be a review, but it's so hard not to compare the two as films. So I'm going to try to treat this as a film by itself. So let me just start off by saying it was interesting. Of course, it's about Peter Parker. He gets bit by a spider. He turns into Spider-Man. There's a love interest. He's super smart. He has an aunt. He has an uncle. The uncle dies. I don't care if I give it away because everybody already knows this. And there's a bad guy, and he lives in New York City, and he can go crawl on things and fly around with his spider stuff. So that's pretty much the plot of this movie. It's pretty similar to what the original... Oh, I'm comparing it already to the original one. The thing that they changed, though, which I actually really enjoyed how they changed almost all of it. They changed the bad guys, they changed the love interest, they even made Aunt May really young. I mean, I vaguely remember her being really old in the comic books. Why is Sally Field playing like a 70-year-old woman? I guess she is older, but she doesn't look old at all. I definitely liked Aunt May in the original better. I'm comparing it again. It had its ups and downs for me. The first 20 minutes I was really into the backstory with his family and his parents and how he finds out the secret that will explain the disappearance of his father and everything, but that's kind of where it ended for me. So of course Peter Parker, he gets bit by the spider and all this stuff happens, but there was so much in this movie that it just kind of annoyed me. For instance, I didn't believe for a second that they were in New York City. There was absolutely nothing that made me think they were really in New York. It seemed like they were on sound stages and they shot most of it in LA, and I knew that. So it didn't feel like New York City to me. The action sequences were, I don't want to say too long, but I literally did not care. I didn't care what was happening. I was just like, please just let it end. All of the actors were great. They were great, but I know I'm going to compare again. I liked all the other actors in the original so much more. Randomly, Kirsten Dunst. I liked her way more as Mary Jane than I liked Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy. I understand how they wanted to introduce Gwen Stacy's character, but there's something about Emma Stone. I don't love her. I don't hate her. I just didn't love her in this movie. Aunt May, again, like I said, I like the older version of Aunt May better. Martin Sheen pretty much was the same. Andrew Garfield, I will give him credit. I thought he did a great job. He was very dorky, very quirky, nerdy. I got the feeling a lot more that he was like Peter Parker than Tobey Maguire. But there were moments where I hated his performance, and I know it was directorial, but overall his performance was my favorite. I thought he did a good job. The action sequences were cool, but for some reason to me they seemed very CGI, and how he was swinging on the thing, I don't know, I just didn't like it at all. There were no memorable moments, for me at least. There was no quotes, there was no upside down kiss. I know there was just so many things in the original that there were so many great moments from the original, and I just don't remember anything from this movie. There was just nothing that stood out to me. Bottom line, this movie is definitely a good movie. It's a good summer blockbuster. I would definitely recommend going out and seeing it, but just know this, it is not, in my opinion, it doesn't even come close to the original. I've heard people are loving it, but for some reason, I saw it with 4 people, only 1 person liked it. The other 3 of us didn't really care for it, and all of us thought the original was better. The only thing that this movie made me want to do was whip out my old DVD and watch the original. I'd say check it out and see it. You'll probably like it more than I did. Maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. I think the original was way more better. Way more better. I don't even know if that's proper grammar. Anyways, can't wait to see part 2. The Amazing Spider-Man. See you next time.
He'll watch a movie, then he'll tell you all about it. It's the Armstrong Entertainment Show.